Mackenzie Shirilla, aka the internet's biggest villain right now of 2026. I know I'm a little late to this party, but I had to do all of my research. You guys know I like to know all of it before I come on here and make a video. And that included reading the 46 pages from the appellate court for the first appeal that she filed back in 2024. Now, some of the stuff contained in this appeal was not in the documentary on Netflix. It wasn't on Hulu. It wasn't on Tubi or whatever that is. It wasn't on any of them. So we're going to run through some of those. But I think the best place to start on this one, you guys already know what I'm going to say, the parents. I know you guys get mad when I go after the parents, but she was 17 when this crash happened, and some of the blame is on them. Let's start with the obvious. They made asses of themselves on that documentary. He should have been fired from his job. The stuff that they said was absolutely absurd. The stuff that the mother said during sentencing to be a character witness for her daughter was appalling. We all know this. But there was something in there in the appeals court's response that the documentary never touched on. When mom took the stand, she said that her daughter had never been suicidal or wanting to do self-harm. Her friend even said that. What she left out, which they went after her on cross-examination, was the time that the police were there in March of 2020, when the police responded to the home for a possible attempt. First responders wanted to take Mackenzie to the hospital. What did her parents do? No, we don't think it's real. We don't think she's really going to harm herself. They are part of the fucking problem. They raise a child that is so self-absorbed that she doesn't even realize it herself. She thinks that her actions are okay, you guys. And this is why I always say sometimes you're a product of your environment. Sometimes it is learned behavior. The way the parents acted on there is clear proof that that's exactly what it is. It is learned behavior, because look at how they deny any responsibility. They deny and say that she didn't do this. This was all a mistake. The cops got it wrong. The judge got it wrong. Everybody got it wrong. It is learned behavior. That is where she learned this bullshit from, for not taking responsibility for your own actions, is from those damn parents. Now let's talk about her friend that got on there and said, no, she would never harm herself. She loved herself so much. You notice in that statement, she didn't say she would never do that because she loved Dom too much. There was really no need for the friend to even say that. We could all tell exactly how much Mackenzie loved herself. It's very obvious that the only thing Mackenzie loved was herself. The only thing she cared about was herself. The calls from jail, laughing, joking, talking about Kim Kardashian, talking about how famous you are, talking about how it went worldwide news, things like that. Dipshit. Complete dipshit. No regard for human life. You didn't care that two people died. You wanted to be famous. Do I think she did it on purpose? Absolutely. Do I think that she meant to unalive anyone? No. I don't even think she meant to go that fast. I think they struggled over the steering wheel. If you're in a struggle with your arms, think about it, you guys. Your feet aren't just relaxed. You're going to tense up your whole body. I think that's how they ended up going that fast, because she probably said, I am going to crash this car. I don't think she meant to actually unalive someone. I think this should have been a manslaughter charge. I'm not trying to take away from anything that happened to these families, but that's just my opinion on it. Again, everyone has the right to their own opinion. Another thing that's in the appeal response that was not in any of the documentaries, and that I've seen so many rumors going around about on social media, is about the seatbelts. Now, I did see a girl post about, it's funny how in all the other videos, Mackenzie didn't have her seatbelts on while she's driving and smoking. And that, I do not remember the girl that posted it, but that was a good catch, and she was absolutely right about that. But the part of Dom not being buckled in the appeal response, they actually quote a law enforcement official that testified about the data found on the black box, that both front seatbelts were engaged. I do think the bench trial was the dumbest mistake that she and her attorney made in this entire thing. It's what we call 13 and a half, which is 12 jurors, a judge, and a half a chance of being found not guilty. I think had it went to a jury, she probably would have been convicted of a lesser included charge like manslaughter. Again, that's just my own personal opinion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with me. You don't even have to watch this video. That is just me giving my own personal opinion. The other thing that I keep seeing is the gibberish thing, you guys. And that one is weird to me, because my sister and I do speak gibberish, and seizure would be Sidigija the Gur. So I don't know what she was actually saying in those. Whatever alternate language they were speaking, it wasn't like the normal gibberish. I do believe they were arguing in that vehicle, and I do believe that that's what happened, and that's what caused the crash to happen, and that's what angered her to get her to that point where she did something that stupid. But the whole dry run thing, you guys, if you actually go back and you look at the response from the appeals court, in there it's actually quoted from the person that testified about the GPS on her phone. And in his cross-examination, he does say that the GPS from her phone gives a general location and not an exact pinpoint. The whole thing about the 7 times, I think that's just a rumor that keeps going around on social media. It's nowhere in the decision by the appeals court to affirm her conviction. In there, it only speaks of one instance 3 days before the crash. This video is going to end up being too long, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and stop now, but I will make a second part because there are some things I do want to say, kind of devil's advocate, kind of just irritated by some things that other people have said, because there's certain things that really piss me off, like the sister. She goes on Law and Crime the other day, like 2 or 3 days ago, and tells them that she didn't watch the full Netflix documentary, but they did fly in and let her watch like the first draft of it, and she went through and helped them edit it and remove sections where anything bad about her brother was being said. So that part kind of bothers me because, listen, whether he was selling or whatever he was doing, that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that his life was taken. So there's really, why cut those things out? So I'll address all of that in the next part.